It's no secret that match fixing does happen, and you can make an absolute fortune if you bet on fixed football matches. So in this week's upload, I'm going to take a look at some legitimate ways to spot fixed football matches, share some data and facts to back that up, and also uncover how match fixing scammers operate. Now, the scammers have tried to contact you guys on this channel on previous uploads in the past, so if it happens on this video, please just ignore them, wait it out. YouTube's spam filter will soon pick them up and delete those comments. Now, if you're new here, this is your first time, my name's Caan, I'm a full-time betting odds trader. I went full-time on the sports exchanges just over 10 years ago now, and in that time I've seen it all, including plenty about betting scams. It's really not that hard to spot them. Once you've seen one, you've seen most of them. Just as a bit of fun, when creating this video, I contacted one of these scammers and they responded in under a minute. So I'll share more on that in just a moment because it's quite amusing, and I'll show you how that went. But first, the reason that you came here. How do you spot fixed football matches the proper way with analytics and data? Well, the first problem is we need to prove that fixed football matches actually exist. I don't think that's too hard. If we take the company that's set up to monitor suspicious activity in football, Sport Radar's data, they estimate that 300 matches alone in the European leagues each and every single year are suspected of match fixing. On top of that, if we go back to 2010, in March, you may remember that 46 different individuals were arrested in Turkey in line with match fixing, and well, you know, there's just many instances online of bribery within the sport. So we know it's definitely a thing. Whether that's all on fixed final results is another matter, as it can be quite popular to fix the scoring line of various matches. If you've seen the Netflix documentary, which was actually very good, I'd recommend that to anyone, called Bad Sport, you'll know all about point shaving and people betting north of $5 million on the scoreline of a specific match. So knowing the result of the game is clearly a massive advantage to anybody who wants to get involved. The best way to identify fixed football matches, believe it or not, is actually to look at the betting data, analytics, volumes, trends, and what's happening there, and then working backwards towards the player behaviour, not the other way around. In particular, irregularities in the amounts and volumes of money that has been bet on those betting markets in comparison to what they usually would be, the amounts of money that have been bet at certain odds in comparison to the entire market's betting volume if that matches up with its statistical probable chances, and then taking into consideration some other exterior factors, much like they did on the Netflix documentary for point shaving, then working backwards towards the players and seeing which players are routinely linked to this kind of activity. So in order to know how to do all of this, the best thing that we can do is understand where and when it's most likely to happen. Bear with me a second because I've just got to set the scene here with a little bit of logic. Now, if you're looking for fixed football matches inside the Premier League, I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's extremely unlikely that that will ever happen. Players and managers get paid way too much to be risking their career on fixing a football match. It's far more likely that you're going to see match fixing on a regular basis in the lower leagues because, quite frankly, they need the money. Maybe the exception being Serie A back in 2006, where Juventus got themselves in a bit of trouble ending up in Serie B. I don't think anyone can really argue with that. So if you're looking for fixed matches, you want to focus on things like Serie B or the Turkish Super League. Players and managers need the money, and also I think everyone's aware that on those lower quality leagues, there's far less chance of the authorities following up with you because, well, it's just less important in the world of football, and the amount of resources that it would take to deal with that effectively is larger than probably the benefit of solving such problems. So how can you identify fixed football matches via looking at the betting markets? The first thing you want to see is the amount of money that is being matched. In order to do this, I'm going to advise that you look at an online betting exchange. The reason for that is extremely simple. You can see the traded volumes, you can see the amount of money that is bet, versus if you're using a platform like Bet365, you have no idea how many bets they've taken at which price, if any at all. Plus, we all know Bet365 doesn't take bets from winners, so it's highly unlikely that match fixers would be getting their bets on there. So the first point is the amount of money that is bet and traded on one of these football matches massively distorted in comparison to what it usually should be? The second point is the deviation of betting volumes on a particular odds in relation to its entire market value. That may sound confusing to many people out there. Bear with me, I'm about to explain. So if you say, for example, you have a betting market where there's £100,000 matched on a football match, you have Team A, Team B and the draw, and Team A is priced at 2.0. In theory, they have a 50% chance of winning. Therefore, 50% of the entire market's betting volume should be, or thereabouts, on that particular favourite. Now there is a slight bias with this. A lot of the times you'll see slightly more is matched on the favourite than its probable chance. But if you're looking at something that's massively distorted, for example, you have an outsider that's at 20 to 1 and it's got, 15% of the market's betting volume on it, that shows us that clearly this is distorted in terms of the amount of money that is being bet at its price in terms of its probable chance. Now you can notice this by looking at the betting exchange volumes and then relating it to statistical values on something like InfoGoal, where you can see what the likely chances are of that team's success, or that outcome even, be it the draw also. Now there's a couple of exceptions to this, unfortunately, because you think there are some VIP customers out there which can distort betting markets. Those kind of rich people that just turn up and dump 100 grand on something because that's their idea of fun. So you've got to look out, is it one single bet like that that's being dragged down, and weigh up the chances of this being something that's happening over a sustained period of time versus one individual waxing a lump of money. Also, it's not to be confused with people betting ahead of time delays. We know that happens. Courtsiders, we'll do a separate video about that at some point. But on something, for example, like the Turkish Super League, where TV pitches are sometimes delayed and you can bet ahead of the delay, there's people that do that too, for their own benefit, and quite rightly so. But that is not to be confused with people that are betting with, distinct inside information on a fixed football match. The third thing to bear in mind is, where is the football match and who is hosting it? Is it the Turkish Super League? Is it in the Ukraine over lockdown? We'll see the articles about those ghost football matches that happen with fixed results, because routinely this more unethical kind of practices, match fixing, happens in those kind of places, those Eastern European countries, small leagues out of the way, where very few people are actually match side watching. And then fourth of all, which is less of an indicator and more of something that you can use to follow up and confirm, is which players, referees, managers are involved in these situations. Because as per the Netflix documentary that I've mentioned several times now, over and over again, the same people are involved in these sort of situations. If they've been suspected in the past and they are playing again, and it appears to be as though there's massive distorted betting volumes going on in this market, there's a good chance that they could be involved, particularly if they are playing in a pertinent position. All in all, much like all trading and betting indicators, it's better to have several different indicators pointing in the right direction to confirm something rather than just one. Now, if you're getting value and you find this video useful, please don't forget just to tap the like button down below. There's no shortage of scammers out there that will try and take your money off of you, leading you to believe that they have a fixed match result waiting for you. So I contacted one off of Google just the other night, and they responded to me in under 1 minute, offering me odds of 600 to 1. I mean, wouldn't the authorities notice at those odds? And then of course they wanted me to pay them via cryptocurrency or Western Union. If you take a look at search results on Google, it'd almost be funny if it wasn't such a serious topic. There are hundreds of websites here, all clearly from the same people that even use the same text on screen, many of which are actually trying to imitate well-known and trusted betting brands in order to dupe people into thinking that it's safe to take their fixed match suggestions. So in conclusion, fixed football matches are probably best left alone unless you see an outstanding anomaly in the betting markets in terms of the actual data that's being represented via the betting. The best way to exploit football markets is to focus on the weak spots that are hidden within the marketplace and its characteristics, explained further here in the end screen in this video. If you haven't seen it before, check it out. It's one of our most popular videos on the channel, and with very good reason. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to tap the like button down below. See you next time.